problem solving questions. These ones are going to give us rational equations, but that's okay. We know how to solve those equations now. This one is to find a mystery number. What number must be added to both the numerator, the top of the fraction, and the denominator, the bottom of the fraction, of a third, so that it equals 7/8. Let's break this down a bit. I have the fraction 1/3, or a third. And there is a number that I can add to the top and the bottom, the same number, so that the answer will be 7/8. If that number is x, then when I add the number to the top to get 1 plus x, and I add that number to the bottom, the denominator, to get 3 plus x, the answer will equal 7/8. The hardest part of this is probably constructing the equation, because once you've constructed the equation, you can do the same stuff that we did in rational equations earlier on in 7b, where we cross multiply because I have a fraction on the left and a fraction on the right, so I'm allowed to cross multiply. The 3 plus x will move over here, and the 8 will move over here and get multiplied. So when the 8 moves up there, it'll be 8 times this expression, 1 plus x. And you might remember, because this is an expression, it says 1 plus x, I need to show that I'm multiplying this whole expression by 8. Not just the 1, but the whole thing, the 1 plus x. So to group it together, I can use brackets. I'll do the same on the other side. I've got 7 times 3 plus x. And again, this group here, I'll put in brackets. You might notice that I put the group second rather than first. The 3 plus x, I end up putting after the 7 here. That's just because it makes it easier for me to see, I can expand brackets. So here, for example, I can expand 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times x is 8x. Copy down the equals. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times x is 7x. So that's my terms here. The stuff that we're about to do, you've seen a million times before. We play our favorite game. Is this term on the correct side? The 8 term will move to the other side and become -8. The 8x will stay where it is. The 21 will also stay where it is. This letter term, the plus 7x, will turn into minus 7x. So over here, the 21 will stay where it is. This term that was positive will turn into -8. Next line, 8 lots of x takes 7 lots of x. Those are both x terms. They're like terms. I have 1 lot of x. 1x is the same as x. And 21 take 8 is 13. So the answer is 13. The number is 13. But it's useful to check if we got the right answer. This will also help us to explain our answer. Let's check that if I add 13 to the top and the bottom of this fraction, that I get that answer. So the top will look like 1 plus 13. The bottom will look like 3 plus 13 because I'm adding the same number to the top and the bottom. We can figure out what this is now. So when I say LHS, by the way, that's the left-hand side of this equation. So this is, the top is 1 plus 13, which is 14. The bottom is 3 plus 13, which is 16. Oh, I can simplify that, can't I? 2 goes into both of these numbers. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Is that what we thought this fraction would equal? Yes, it is. So that is indeed the correct answer. You don't even need me to mark your tests because you can figure out if you're right yourself. We have another problem here. This one's to do with age. If you find the sum, that means add, the sum of my age and 5, and then divide the answer by 3, the answer is my age minus 17. Mr. Ranieri is being very cryptic, very confusing with his age. how old am I? Because we're finding something out in a worded problem here, let's let my age, or the age, be X years. So assume that I am X years old. Now, the sum of my age and 5 is my age plus 5. Sum means add together. Then divide the answer, so this whole thing needs to be divided by 3. So divide the answer by 3. So get my age, add 5, take the answer, that whole group, and divide it by 3. And when you figure that out, the answer is the same as my age minus 17. So if my age is X, the age is X minus 17. This is a rational equation, and quite nicely, it is almost one that we can cross multiply. Look, I've got a fraction on this side. This side is not a fraction, but I could write it as one. I could write this as X minus 17 over 1. So if you want to cross multiply, but you can't because one side is not a fraction, sometimes you can write it as divide by 1. Right, now we can cross multiply. The 3 will go up to the top of that side. The 1 will go up to the top of that side. 1 times this is just this. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times x plus 5 is x plus 5. It won't change it. And this 3 moves up to the top there and will be multiplied. Oh, better be careful. The 3 needs to get multiplied by this whole group up here. Not just the x. See this part, just the x is being multiplied by 3, but the whole group. So I've got my brackets there to show that it is the whole group being multiplied by 3. Oh, what next? I can't move terms around yet because there is some brackets to expand. Let's do that first. The left-hand side will stay the same. Copy down the therefore sign, copy down the left-hand side, copy down the equals. I'm not messing with that yet. 3 times x is 3x. Positive times negative is negative. 3 times 17, if you figure it out on a scrap little piece of paper, is 51. Oh, it looks like it's time for Mr. and Aries' favorite game, because look, we've got all these terms. We need to move these terms around, and the x, that's a letter term, that will stay where it is. The positive 5 is a number term, that will go to the right and turn into negative 5. The 3x is a letter term, so it should be on the left, turn into negative 3x. And this number term will stay where it is because it's already on the right. So if we do those changes, x, the 3x turns into minus x, equals, the minus 51 stays where it is, the positive 5 turns into negative 5. Cool. Hopefully not too bad from here. I've done most of the heavy lifting. I can collect like terms over here now. I've got 1 lot of x, take 3 lots of x. 1 take 3 is negative 2, equals negative 51 take 5 is negative 56. So negative 2 times x is negative 56. I've got just one term left here on this left-hand side, so I'm going to tear it up, I'm going to split it up. X has been multiplied by negative 2. The opposite of multiplying by negative 2 is dividing by negative 2. So the answer is negative 56 over negative 2. That looks like we're done, doesn't it? That's a sensible answer to give someone when they say, oh, how old am I? And you say, oh, obviously negative 56 over negative 2. What? No, that's silly. I mean, you can understand why I always say to simplify your fractions, because this is horrific. This is not very nice at all. It happens that this we'll simplify not just to a fraction, but a whole number. Because 56 divided by 2 is 28. So there you go. 28 is how old I am, apparently. This is not actually true. I'm not actually 28. So, am I done? 28. I should probably give a unit, shouldn't I? Yeah. What would the unit be here? 28. Oh, it's an age in years. 28 years old. There's my answer. All done. Good luck with some problem-solving questions, some of these trickier ones that have a rational equation. Bye, everyone.